back to new Rockstars. We finally have a trailer for the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming to Disney Plus. And boy, oh boy, does it look like a banger. Finally, all my hard work and investing in these prequel memes is about to pay off big time. If we don't get Jar Jar Binks as a Sith Lord in this series, we riot. And by we, I mean me, my roommate Jimmy, and that guy who kind of like, I don't know if he lives in our garage or if he just sleeps there, but he agrees with all my theories as long as I give him a little bit of rum every night in a dish, like a little house cat. This is Rogue Theory, the show where we pitch the wildest theories for the nerdy titles that we love. My name is Thomas Michael Bechtold, and I was born on a small farm in upstate New York in 1980-something. Going rogue with me today is the angel that all the deep space pilots love to talk about. It's my queen, my muse, my everything, Jessica Clemons. Hello, Jessica.
Hi. That intro was... I hate that I was first after that intro. It's so ridiculous.
I blacked out.
I noticed.
I absolutely have no recollection. Also joining us today is someone who's ready to tell you the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise and host of the Filmlosophers podcast. It's Eddie Villanueva. Hello, Eddie. How are you?
Hello. And I thought you were going to tell them that I lived in your garage. What's going on? Just let them know our relationship already. Tommy, come on.
Eddie loves that rum.
Oh, you know it.
Kitten saucer. And finally, someone who really hates sand. It's coarse. It's irritating. It's off-screen producer Brandon.
Oh, boy, do I hate that
Brandon.
sand. It gets everywhere. You can't get it out of anything. You got to bring baby powder.
That's the worst
with you
thing
to
that
the
happened
beach.
to him, right?
Baby powder.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you use
Does baby
baby powder
powder
to
get
get
sand
sand
off?
off you.
Stop there.
No,
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't. No,
it does
doesn't.
too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
slips
such
in
a-
between
Oh, when I go to the
sand
beach, I go head to
molecules.
toe in baby powder.
Yeah.
It's
There you
before
go.
you put on your latex
powdered
suits,
up.
Tommy. I know. I'm aware.
You're gonna look.
That's
Tommy's
right.
gonna look like that guy from Super Troopers when they try to delouse him.
Oh, yeah. Powdered sugar. It's delicious.
Yes. Powdered sugar. Say shenanigans one more time. All right.
Shenanigans.
The first trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, on Disney Plus finally dropped yesterday. My sister's birthday. Happy birthday. She's probably
Happy
never watched Star Wars.
birthday.
Happy
Hey.
birthday.
And it had Star Wars fans everywhere belting, "Aww, aww, aww, aww." Duel of the Fates all day long. Everyone's excited for who might show up on this series, but one character in particular really has us wondering, and that leads us to our first topic. Could Darth Maul return in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? The time frame in which the series takes place means that everyone's favorite dissected, horny little devil boy is still alive, running the Crimson Dawn. Even though Maul doesn't know that Kenobi is hiding on Tatooine, could he make a cameo in this series? And if so, how might he appear?
I think one thing to kind of note, I mean, obviously we've gotten great storylines with Darth Maul in the Clone Wars as well as the Rebel series, and to have that kind of come to fruition and completion with the Rebel series, it gave us so much content. It gave us so much information. So I feel like if there was ever a place in this series where we're going to see Darth Maul, it's going to be on the part of him trying to find the clues his own way before he has to go to the Sith Temple to get that power that he talks about in Rebels with Ezra Bridger. I feel like it's going to be more of like him being more detective-like, as opposed to deciding to go in that direction, which he doesn't want to go in that direction because that means leading him back to the Sith and the dark side of, with Palpatine and all them. So he's trying to stay under the radar and maybe just be a detective and try to find clues and, do the whole bad cop, even worse cop kind of thing.
I like that. Bad cop, even worse cop. Going back, it's like when you go home and see your old friends from high school and they just drag you back into all your old bad habits, throwing snails down on railroad tracks,
Oh,
taking
jeez.
potions, all that stuff.
Tommy,
all the
you're
stuff we used to
crazy.
do as boys.
Is that why I'm not getting my Amazon packages? Because there's too many snails on the tracks derailing the
There you
train.
go.
That's right. Snails on the tracks, break your mama's backs. All right.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
got a crazy rogue theory.
Let me
you
go
wanna go
first
first,
because
Jessica?
you
Yeah, you do,
know
you
yours
go.
is always crazy and actually really good. So let me go before you, so it's bad, and then yours goes.
I love this setup.
So it's bad, and then yours goes.
Mm.
I think I mean, I kind of agree with Eddie. I think what my favorite part about Darth Maul is his death in Rebels. And I think that's a very big motivation for what the Obi-Wan Kenobi series would lead if we put Darth Maul in there. So I think what we're going to try seeing is eventually Obi-Wan will go underground. Not underground, but like physically underground and somehow fall into the arms of the Crimson Dawn or something. And Darth Maul will be like, this is my enemy. I need to make sure to kill him. Like, this is something happens. And so when we see Darth Maul in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, I think we're going to see him just constantly be raged with like, I need to fight Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that way, if people do go see Star Wars Rebels, they'll be like, oh, this is really serious. Like, the death scene is really sad and he's holding him. So I think what we're going to see is like more Obi-Wan Kenobi still being more presentable and great about like, just being a Jedi, and then Darth Maul going crazy and being like, I need to kill him. But I don't think he's going to appear so much. I think me and Brandon kind of talked about this. It's going to be more about the Inquisitors, but when Darth Maul does appear, he's going to be like raged with anger and be like, I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I'm doing it right. We got to get Obi-Wan. So I think that's how we're going to see Darth Maul is like somewhere underground with the Crimson Dawn. Sorry, I almost sneezed. That's my theory.
No.
I thought you were just crying. You're so moved by
I
the
thought
relationship.
exactly.
I love. Oh,
You just got so worked up about your own theory.
It was really sad. I remember being like, that must be crazy to spend your entire life trying to kill this man, and then you finally come to peace with dying in his arms. I love villains. I love a good villain story, and Darth Maul is a really good villain like arc. He's gone through everything.
We love villains here. I like that. I like your theory. It does make sense. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi's whole life is all about remaining in control and remaining composed, and his main adversaries tend to be people who go off of the path by losing control and being too emotional. I mean, really, the most emotional we ever see Obi-Wan is on Mustafar when he's making using a deli slicer on Anakin to turn him into a
rotisserie
nice boar's
chicken.
head honey baked ham.
Pickle Anakin.
But,
He's Pickle Anakin.
yes.
But I have to agree with like in the sense of what Jess is saying, like the whole idea of who Maul is throughout that entire franchise, his entire journey is one that, oddly enough, we are probably the closest to in terms of from first appearance all the way through. And that death scene, it's got so many big implications. And obviously everybody's seen the explanation of, Obi-Wan and how he holds his lightsaber and this and that. But it's like, it's true. You find that dynamic between those two is like complete, like magnetic polar opposites where every time they come together, it's just immense blows. It happened all throughout the entire Clone Wars series, and having that great ending in the most simplistic way of how it goes, any kind of retconning that would really just mess up a lot of fans.
They have.
Well, I'm going to retcon that, Eddie.
Oh,
It's time for a
guess
retcon,
who's here to
baby.
mess up the fans?
Well,
Yes.
like here's
right.
what I love with like what Dave Filoni's doing with Star Wars, right? He's just taking time and cutting it up into smaller and smaller pieces and being like, here's a show about this 4 hours in the Star Wars universe and blah, blah, blah. So I think this is going to be a weird moment for Maul, right? He's running the Crimson Dawn now. He's thrown away the whole Sith thing, right? He's just Maul, baby. Screw the Sith. I got cut in half. I was a patsy. I got set up. It's bullshit, right? He's pissed off and he's afraid. So now you have like the Empire growing. They're growing ranks. They got these Inquisitors running around who's not doing good for business for anybody. And even though the Empire, they do wind up working with like the Hutts and stuff and using like underground, they do cut out a lot of the like crime, right? Because they're trying to clean up the universe in the way they see it, how it should be run. So I think that Darth Maul Maul's going to be up against the Inquisitors and up against the Empire who are trying to crush the Crimson Dawn at this point, and he's going to be pissed. And the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And I think we're going to get a little twist-a-rooney here, and Obi-Wan and Maul are going to have to team up reluctantly to go up against these Inquisitors because they're not good for business for anybody. And I think, Obi-Wan's main antagonist here is going to be Anakin, right? It's going to be Darth Vader showing up again, being like, you could have made like this, son of a bitch. And he's going to be the pissed off rage one. And I think Maul and Obi-Wan are going to work together as like buddies and then go their separate ways at the end of this series. And that'll set up, the moving death we get in Rebels, right? Where it's like they had this moment where their interests were aligned and they worked together. Because I think, Maul's at this point where he's like, screw the Sith. And I think Obi-Wan's a little bit like, screw the Jedi. I've seen how this has gone bad.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to work together in this. In a little
They can
twist
still
of-
work together and then still butt heads at the end.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Maul could
Oh, yeah.
just be like, psych, bam, and hit him upside the head at the very end of it.
He could.
Like,
At the very end, Maul pulls out the chair from behind and just hits Obi-Wan in the
And
back. Baby.
Obi-Wan has gone out of, I think, a couple times. Every time Maul does get Obi-Wan, someone saves Obi-Wan. So we could have another scene
Yeah.
of Obi-Wan just getting
Yeah.
saved again. That way we don't get rid of that like intense storyline in the Clone Wars and the Rebels. So I think I agree with Brandon too. I give Brandon my shit.
A Maul Obi-Wan
Buddy cop movie.
partnership. I'm
Yeah.
already shipping them, guys.
Mobi-Wan.
I'm calling them
Mobi-Wan.
Mobi-Wall.
Obi-Wan.
I changed them. I call them Moby Wall. But Mobi-Wan is better, so we're shipping them. We're calling them Mobi-Wan. We're gonna do the points a little different today. We're gonna be handing out Tommy tokens. Those are redeemable at my website, www.tomsquad.com, in my Beast merchandise section, which is where I have exclusive new Rockstars merchandise slandering the other talent on this show. For instance, you can buy a mug that says Erik Voss, more like Eric Loss. Philip Molina, Hope I Never See Ya. Whitney Van Landingham, more like Whitney Pass On Over That, because I ain't landed anywhere near her ass. All right? So head on down to that fictional website that does not exist. But let's hand out our Tommy tokens. Eddie, I'm going to give you 2 Tommy tokens for, I'm not going to lie, a safe theory, but still a spicy theory. Jessica, you were going to get 2 Tommy tokens, but then you gave them to Brandon because, as we all know, when you get Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul together in a theory, you're going to get the tokens. So I'm going to give Brandon 3 tokens. 3 Tommy tokens, which is about halfway to an Erik Voss, more like Eric Lost mug. So you're halfway there, guys. Up next, we're going to talk about the new Batman series coming to HBO Max. But first, a few words from our sponsors. New RockstarsMerch.com has 4 different shirt designs inspired by the Batman. They also have hoodies, socks, stickers, and more stuff that's the perfect gift for the moody millionaire in your life, or just for your buddy who can't stop saying, "I'm vengeance," ever since he saw the movie. Check out all of our great options at newrockstarsmerch.com and tell them Tommy sent you. Don't do that. That'll do nothing. If you do that, the site will just crash. All right, let's talk about some of our sponsors today, some best friends of mine. First thing I want to talk about is Faraday. Spring weather can be a little like the planets of the Star Wars universe. One day it's as cold as Hoth. The next it's muggy like Dagobah. Our buddies over at Faraday make picking the right spring outfit easier because they make perfect clothes for all seasons. Winter, spring, summer, fall, rosemary, dill, chipotle, all the seasons. Faraday is a family-run brand making high-quality, timeless clothing that looks great and is super functional. Look at me, I'm not wearing it and I could barely move. If I had Faraday, I'd be moving around. They make the clothes that always work their way to the top of your rotation. Around New Rockstars, we're all big fans of Faraday clothes. They make us feel like we're fashionable and hip, which are 2 words people don't usually throw around for folks that speculate about Star Wars. Faraday is so confident in the quality of their stuff, they have a lifetime guarantee of quality. So if you're one of those immortals like Darth Plagueis the Wise, someone who found a way to cheat death, you're going to be wearing Faraday clothes for millennia. They'll replace or fix your clothes forever, no matter what. Talk about making it easier to get dressed. Imagine you're 90 and you get too close to a fence chasing a rabbit or something confuses you. You tear a hole in your Faraday shirt, they'll replace it for you. Talk about making it easier to get dressed. And right now, Faraday has given the Rogue Theory audience 20% off. That's 1/5. For those of you math nerds, head down to FaradayBrand.com and use code ROGUE at checkout to snag 20% off all your new spring staples. That's code ROGUE at Faraday, FAHERTY brand.com for 20% off. And tell them Tom sent you. All right, up next, my favorite sponsor. Sponsor that's gotten me through a lot of long nights. I'm talking about Blue Chew, baby. We're not always confident in our theories here on Rogue Theory, but if you need confidence in life and in the bedroom, that's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost. You can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. And if you've always thought, I need to get in a but I want to eat it like Pez, Blue Chew has solved this problem for you. I know you Pez heads out there with your Grinch Pez machine, and you're like, why can't I get hard? It's so hard to swallow a pill. Let me chew it down. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And then you're off to the chew races, my friends. It's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office. No awkward conversations. No looking down at your pants to make sure the pleat doesn't make it seem like you already took a Blue Chew. You'll receive your prescription. There's no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, baby. Red, white, and blue chew, and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. But you know what I say. I don't want the discreet package. I want it in big letters. Boner Town, destination, Tom Bechtold's townhouse, okay? If you could benefit from the extra confidence when it's time to perform, let Blue Chew help you. We've got a special deal for our audience. Try Blue Chew free when you use the promo code ROGUE at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's $5 for a goddamn torpedo in your gym shorts. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code ROGUE to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this show, for saving my marriage. When I've got my stance socks on, I know my feet are both comfortable and stylish, and that matters to me. Now they're taking that comfort and style from toe to head with the launch of their all-new active apparel line. Stance has a super soft line of sweatpants and joggers, shirts, hoodies, and more. They look as good as they feel. They're available in a full range of fits, prints, and fabrics. Not a yellow guy? Don't worry about it. Full range. That means green, blue, indigo, violet, reds even, possibly whites and grays. I think the coolest part of Stance's apparel is all their collaborations with artists and different IP. Wear their Nightmare Before Christmas hoodie over their Bob Marley t-shirt with Incredible Hulk socks, and let the world know all the stuff you're into at the same time. Stance's philosophy is that you should never have to sacrifice your own style for the sake of comfort. And now you don't have to. Whether you're relaxing around the house, working out at the gym, or running all over town like me, bona fide businessman Tom Bechtold, Stance now delivers its signature softness and creativity in a full line of active apparel styles from toe to head. Talking tits to toenails, baby. Stance has got you covered. Head on over to Stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. Use promo code ROGUE at checkout to apply. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance. Stitch different. And we're back. HBO Max has officially confirmed this week that a new series focusing on Colin Farrell as the Penguin is headed into production. And that leads us to our second topic for today. Friends, what can we expect from the Penguin on HBO Max? With the Batman now in theaters, Matt Reeves looks to expand his version of Gotham with an all-new series on HBO Max focusing on the Penguin. Everybody's favorite EDM, nightclub owning, Irish guy in a fat suit. So tell me now, when the Penguin, where could this series take us to set us up for the events for a sequel to the Batman?
I can go first, but also I just want to acknowledge that nightclub didn't look fun. Also, there's so many Batman movies where Batman is just beating up people in a nightclub, and I'm just like, why is it always a nightclub? Why?
Because nightclub people are dangerous. Can't trust them.
That I guess so.
It looked like a place where you'd stub your toe a lot or bump into like metal, like.
How do you think they figured out how to do all their dancing? They've just all been stubbing themselves into things.
That's
right.
It feels like it's easy to fall over the pole. There was just like a metal pole, and it was like, if I fall off, it's like 50 feet. Like whatever.
seems
I
like
nobody's gonna find you until they hit the lights.
It's so hard to get
I
a
was
drink
psyched that the
at
twin
club,
brothers
for
from
sure.
The Leftovers got in that movie. That was awesome. They were my favorite people in that whole movie.
Oh, I'm glad you
twins.
liked it.
They were on Desperate Housewives
And
too.
twins.
At least that's what my
That's
wife
right.
said. I didn't know for sure, but she said they were on Desperate
yeah,
Housewives.
that's what my wife
Wink,
said.
wink.
Too.
Right.
Wink, wink.
The Gals of Wisteria Lane. Yeah, I watched.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I watched.
So I think that there's a lot of room for what the sequel of the Batman will be, because the Penguin has no story right now from the movie. So I think a great way of going about this is introducing Ethan Cobblepot, the Penguin's son, whose mother was one of the workers at the Iceberg Lounge. And when I think the story was like that, she was like, "Hey, I'm pregnant with your child." He was like, "Hit the road, lady." And then he goes on to like pay for the child all throughout his like life until he goes to college, and then is like, "I ain't paying for your shit anymore." And he becomes a villain eventually. And then his enemy is Batgirl, I think it's Batgirl. And so I think that would just tie in really well, just the family of who Penguin is, the fact that he has a son. We could even take from the Harley Quinn series where he has a nephew and a sister and his mother, who are very big important characters, and how that sways how he's doing in life. And then in the sequel of the Batman, we can have Ethan Cobblepot show up. And though he is kind of like a shitty villain, he still is a money-making villain. So if the Penguin did die, Ethan Cobblepot could take his role as his new dad. So that is what I have to say. That's what I think it's going to be.
Interesting. Yeah, I kind of am with you on the development. We have a lot to learn about the Penguin. I thought it was interesting, all the criticism that movie took for that character, as if like there wasn't enough information already given in that movie about so many characters. They were like, how could they not develop the Penguin fully? It's like, well, because they're doing a TV show and sequels to this movie. This wasn't supposed to be the complete story of Oswald Cobblepot. So, and Chester Copperpot from the Goonies, which I would also like to have him in.
Are they going to establish the link between those two characters?
It's the grandfather.
Yes, it's time to bring the Gooniverse and the DCU.
My pirate ship is stuck in a cave. Oh, yeah.
I have the key to One-Eyed Willie.
Oh man. I would say I like that direction, but I would say with the way we've seen with the success of Peacemaker, I feel like his son will be a part of it, but I feel like his son is going to be like a Gen Zer, somebody who's more in tune with like pop culture and things of what's going on. And he's going to kind of, the entire series is going to be the Penguin trying to understand his son's culture and just not getting it and getting him more frustrated. And each episode, it's another aspect of like, no, Dad, don't you get? This is, Facebook. You do this and that and whatever. Turned into Arnold a little bit. And then you're going to get like opportunities where each time it just gets him more and more frustrated until we see him be like the insane, just masochist type of villain at the end of it and have him just go off and be like, I'm gonna go kill the Batman or something.
No, so are you suggesting that this will be like a comedy series?
Yeah.
Like these interactions will be funny?
Yeah.
So this will have more like a Peacemaker tone where there's action, but also a lot of humor.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that, Eddie. I like that.
I'm trying to remember what Matt Reeves movies he's done that are comedy to see what it's gonna be like. And I immediately was like, I guess Planet of the Apes was kind of funny.
Had some jokes in it.
Yeah, it's some funny.
A lot of people don't know he directed Ernest Scared Stupid. That's not true.
I was like, was he?
When he was 12?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a first for everybody.
That is true. I think he's gonna go more violent than anything. I think he's gonna take that, especially like a crime boss. Like he's gonna be like, oh, I can't wait to see Penguin stab people in the neck. Because if there's one thing I learned about Peacemaker is that there's a lot of butts, a lot of dicks, and a lot of blood. So he's probably going to take from that and do a bunch of that shit.
Do you think it's going to go in the direction of like Boardwalk Empire?
Oh my God. I would lose my mind if they did the Boardwalk Empire. So I would lose my shit. Boardwalk Empire was one of the greatest television shows. And I was so sad that when it went. And so if they follow that suit and make it as vicious as like The Wire, I'll be like, oh, I'm into this. I love this.
Well, one thing I was reading was that this Penguin series was originally like, the story was going to be the sequel for the Batman, and they decided like, no, we'll just pivot this into a series. But I do think you're kind of right, Jessica and Eddie. Like, I think this is going to get it's going to be about the rise of Penguin. They've kind of taken out two major crime families in the Batman universe, and modern Batman has very much shied away from these villains and been like, no, the real crime bosses are like the Maronis and the Falcones, and they're like, the Sopranos or whatever, and like, Cobblepot's like, right? He's like a joke a lot. And even in this movie, he was kind of toothless, right? It was like, I didn't kill any Goyles. What are you doing? You're the worst detectives ever, waddling around and stuff. And I think now Cobblepot has seen like, oh, this city, I can take over now, but I'm going to have to up it up a notch. I'm going to have to be willing to kill some people and do some really evil stuff. But I like the idea of like his family being there and him kind of moving away from his family. And like, now that the flood has come, he's going to take over some sections of the city and really build himself up. And now that they've said that like the other show they're going to do isn't going to focus on the Gotham PD anymore, but it's going to focus more on Arkham, I'm wondering if they'll use the Penguin show to kind of bridge the gap into some of the more fantastic villains. Because watching the Batman, I was like, how does Superman exist in this world, right? This world that seems very practical and dark and like not a lot of magic in it. How do you have a character like Superman or any villain who's a metahuman or like has mystical powers or something? I don't see that existing in the Batman that we saw, but this could help us do it in like Cobblepot show where like in the Penguin, maybe he meets some more fantastic villains, and that's a good way to introduce them into the Batman that Matt Reeves has created.
What I'm hearing is bring on Mr. Mixelplex.
I did the reading on the book that came out before the movie. It's like before the Batman or whatever. And it really does kind of set up Penguin as this like super low key, but starting to make plans to take over kind of thing. Like the whole book surrounds this situation where Penguin is having one of his henchmen sell this super top secret type of explosive, and he's forcing this person to sell it because he's framing her dad and he's in jail. So, but in the end, like the henchman is the one who gets it in the end, and Falcone's like, he thinks that Penguin's up to things, but he's kind of suspect, and he's like, but the book really does set up a premise where the Penguin already is making moves. In the book, this is the one that Batman finds, but it's already kind of insinuating that the Penguin has been already making moves and doing things prior to that's been trying to underhand what Carmine Falcone's been doing, and really kind of set himself up as a top villain. So there's precedence to it.
I just thought of something, 2 things. A, I don't know if my theory would actually work because it's following the exact storyline of Falcone and Selena in the new Batman. So I'm like, why would he do the exact same thing unless it is mirroring the same situation of like how Batman was like, your dad thought he was doing good and then did bad. Like if they wanted to do that double up again, and it's like, you wanted to be better than Falcone, but you are actually being Falcone. Also, I do think the series will probably play more into like, because he immediately was like, looks like I'm the new leader, bitch. And then it's like, well, what about the people that also want to be the leader? What about other people that worked for Falcone that are like, no, I'm the leader? And there's no better like story than like a bunch of high-end villains fighting each other endlessly. So I think it's going to be a lot of him trying to take control of what he thinks is his, but he has to fight everyone for it. I would love his family to come in though.
Yeah, and we haven't really gotten a chance to see all the other crime families. In every opportunity that we've seen, Batman explore the entire crime family syndicates, like with The Dark Knight, we saw all those people at the table. Those all are representative of, the different crime families. In Under the Red Hood, we saw, the meetings of all the crime families. We've seen that there are more than just the Falcones and the Maronis, but it hasn't been kind of come to fruition. So maybe that could be part of the series as well. The Penguin coming in and just one after one, like just taking over each crime family, knocking off the heads of that family, and just making his Penguin army massive with henchmen.
Yes.
If there's anything we learned from the Batman is that you need those henchmen, because the Riddler had his whole team, the Godfather and the Riddler.
The Riddler had his incels.
His whole entire social media army.
So it's like, you need your own army.
He's got 500 followers.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
let's
track
make a
who's
deal
who.
for 500.
Was that the only one when I saw the little kid at the very beginning, right? And he's dressed as a red ninja, and he like fake kills his dad. Everyone's like, oh, he's going to become Robin. I was thinking he's going to become Red Hood. Like, what if they kind of subvert it all, and he sees all this go down? He sees what happened to his dad, and he's like, no, I'm going to run this town now. You don't kill my dad.
He definitely
you don't
is.
kill Don Mitchell.
Politician children, other than Batman, arguably, turn evil. So in these franchises, none of them ever turn good. I say arguably because I'm
some of them just develop cocaine addicts and marry Fox News anchors.
That's also true. Did anybody else get a vibe of maybe a League of Shadows type reference there?
Maybe. Yeah.
So, there's an opportunity there too.
I like it, guys. I like the angles we're going here. I'm going to award some Tommy tokens now. These are redeemable at my website, www.tomsquad.com, where you can buy newly minted NFTs. That's nice face, Tommy. These are unique images of me making a cutie boy face into the camera. So, Jess, I'm going to give you Tommy tokens, 2 of them. Eddie, I'm going to give you another 2 Tommy tokens. And Brandon, I'm going to give you 1 Tommy token because you kind of just agreed with Jessica and Eddie there. And I want to make it more. I want to make the rogue question more dramatic. And if I gave you 2, it would be out of reach. So now's the time that we all watch for, the rogue question. And if you've made it this long, obviously you're watching on the toilet and having some gastrointestinal issues, and we wish you well. So, today's rogue question is, as we wait to hear any news on Captain America 4, apparently Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan haven't spoken in months. Maybe it's something about Anthony Mackie leaking a racy tape between Pam and Tommy. And recently, Sebastian Stan said he hopes that Anthony doesn't have any say if he'll be in Captain America 4. This is probably all one big joke amongst friends using the internet as its plaything. For today's Rogue question, I just want us to play a little fantasy. We were on set, fly on the wall. What's the pettiest real-world beef that these two actors could have? What made them dislike each other? What's the pettiest beef?
Oh my God, that's a good
I
question.
think they broke the number one rule for any actor, whether it's in theater, on the stage, on the silver screen, wherever it is. You don't touch anyone else's props. You know what I mean? You don't touch any prop that's not yours. And I bet, Anthony Mackie came around the corner or something, and Sebastian was in that, that winged Captain America suit, throwing some punches, taking some selfies, and he was like, "No, you don't touch my props.
Yes.
You don't touch my
You don't
props.
touch a wig if it's not your wig."
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I think it's a little bit more egregious than that. I feel like not just, with the code for people who act together, but the code for people who are bros together. I feel like Sebastian Stan, or one of them, accidentally wore the other one's underwear. Because everybody knows
accidentally.
Bros share clothes.
Yes.
We share, and it's cool. But one thing you don't share is you don't share underwear. That's the number one rule. And I feel like one of them was like, these look like mine. Grabbed them, put them on. Because, they travel. They're in, they're all on set elsewhere, whatever. Things can happen or whatever. And one be like, oh, yeah, those are mine. And then one's like, hey, are you wearing my Fruit of the Looms? I thought these were mine. And boom, Civil War 3.
Fruit of the Looms.
Crazy thing is, they're both wearing Batman underoos.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's nuts about it. Cross branding.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do that.
All right, Jessica, what do you think?
I think that this is so stupid. I think that Anthony and Mackie and Sebastian Stan have always had this beef, and they've been laying it low because they've been just like, we have to do all these movies together. But I feel like Anthony Mackie auditioned for Jeff Galooly and I, Tonya, and Sebastian Stan got it.
Oh.
I think Anthony Mackie,
Yes.
I think he auditioned for the role of Tommy Lee and Pam and Tommy, but Sebastian Stan got it. He auditioned for the special agent in 355, but Sebastian Stan got it. And he's just like, look here, I'm going to get my own. And he gets Black Mirror, and it's the worst episode. and so they've always had this beef because Sebastian Stan's been stealing Anthony Mackie's roles. And so Anthony Mackie's been laying low, but also spitting out a lot of rumors to people on set, being like, who's a piece of shit? Sebastian Stan. And Sebastian Stan was like, you know what? I really hope he's not in this movie because I just can't stand him right now. We need to break apart from each other because he's mad that I keep stealing his roles that are clearly for me. And before anybody watches this and says, Jessica, what's your problem with Anthony Mackie? I don't have a problem with Anthony Mackie. I just think that him and Sebastian Stan auditioned for the same roles, and clearly Sebastian Stan is getting it.
Wow.
So he can have
Sebastian Stan can get it.
When is Hollywood going to have the guts to let a black man play Tommy Lee?
Yeah.
Come on.
Why won't they let Anthony Mackie play Jeff Galooly?
We are asking
Hollywood.
the real questions here. We are asking the real questions.
That one got way more real than I thought it was gonna. But at the end of the day, I have to award the token to a man I've done sketch comedy with and knows the sacred rule. You don't touch my wig, and you don't touch my cape. You don't touch my wig, you don't touch my cape. Therefore, Brandon, you're getting the Tommy tokens, and that makes you today's winner.
Oh, baby. I'm going to TomSquad.com immediately.
I need you to open a digital wallet, what we call a little Tommy trunk.
Stop, they're going to steal from you.
Tommy trunk.
Brandon, he's
Just
going
link
to
your bank
steal
account
from you.
and send me your routing numbers and all.
It's all safe
give
on
me
the
your
blockchain.
information,
It's all safe on the blockchain.
Guys, we got people on the blockchain. We got people off the chain, okay? That's it for this episode of Rogue Theory. Thanks to our special guests, Jessica Clemons, Eddie Villanueva, and off-screen producer, Brandon. Support our channel by checking out all of our awesome merch over at newrockstarsmerch.com. If you have thoughts on some of our Rogue Theories, you can share them on our Discord. If you're over 18, click on the link for the New Rockstars Discord server in the description below. Follow me at Tommy Bechtold. Follow New Rockstars on all social platforms. And be sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.